Do you guys remember that MCU movie that everybody forgets about? That's right. I'm going to be talking about Thor the Dark World, Thor 2. So, after watching Thor Love and Thunder and how much of a shite show that was, I decided to go back and watch some of the old MCU movies, starting with Thor 1, which I think that one was okay. That one was pretty good. I'd say that one's actually good. Thor 2, however, I'd say it was okay. It wasn't, I don't think it's as bad as it was. If I remember properly, everybody would put Thor 2, like Thor the Dark World, as like one of the worst MCU films ever, or that it's like the most forgettable. So there's just not much that happens there. It's pretty bland. It would be like one of the lowest ranking ones in the MCU. Now, though, I don't know. I think it'd probably be considered around mid-tier. Honestly, I think it would be considered around mid-tier at this point. I think it was okay as I watched it. So let me break it down for you. So the main villain is kind of boring. He is a little generic. He is Malekith, and he's a dark elf, and he just wants to bring darkness. Yeah, I know it's very original. But it's pretty thin. But that was his goal, and it was clear at least that's what he wanted to do. Though the main plot with it, like with all the steps he has to take and all the things that are aligning at the same time, gets a little screwy. And honestly, the plot shouldn't have been that. It shouldn't have been that much. It should have been a little more simple. With the simple villain you have, the plot should have been just a little bit more simple with that as well. But anyway, going into other aspects of the film, there was Jane Foster and some of the human stuff, and I would say, like, she as a character, I think is actually okay. I remember hating her. I thought she was a horrible addition to Thor and everything. Like, I want her away from Thor. I think she's okay, actually, as I'm looking back at it. She's an okay character. However, like, the scenes that they decide to have her participate in Thor 2, like, while she's on Earth anyway, is pretty stupid. Like, they have her starting with, oh, well, Thor's been away for a while, and so, well, who's she gonna date? We got to see her trying to date other people, and it just seemed like an unnecessary kind of thing. Just like I don't think anybody actually cared about who she's trying to date at all. It's one of those things where should you have this scene in the film, or should you have other scenes that are more important? I think you should have had a different scene here, or have her doing something else that makes more sense. I don't know. It was a little dumb because it gets interrupted anyway. And her best friend played, I don't remember her name in the film. Is it Kat Dennings, or is that the actress? I don't know off the top of my head. She's annoying as shit. Like, she is almost funny, but it's just not funny when it comes off. So, like, it's annoying to see her. And then she has, like, an assistant for no reason. And Dr. Selvig is, like, crazy and, like, going naked on Stonehenge or something. And it's just, I don't know. They're doing a lot of wacky stuff in it that just, I don't know if, was it just for comedy? Because it wasn't that funny. Like, their attempts at comedy weren't that funny in the film. So I can see people not liking it for that. Its comedy was pretty pathetic. But what's good is that at least some things are taken seriously in the film. In Thor Love and Thunder, almost nothing is taken seriously at all. It is all just entirely attempting to be comedy in Thor Love and Thunder. In Thor 2, they have scenes where they're like trying to be serious, and ones where, like, let's say when they're talking to Loki, Loki's always usually got a little bit of snide remarks and trying to be funny in some way, shape, or form, or do a jab, but it's like coming from his character, and he is making, like, he's kind of pissed at the situation and everything, and he's trying to take it seriously too, but he's a jokester at heart, so whatever he's saying is trying to make a joke anyway. It's like, I don't know, they take it seriously. There's not a joke interrupting every freaking thing. There's not a rebuttal at the end of every little thing that just is like, oh, you gotcha. So I was very glad to see that in Thor 2. Like the character is trying to be serious, and he, as a character, is like, he's trying to figure himself out in this, which in most of the Thor films, that is what he's doing. He's trying to figure himself out. Because in the first one, he was very arrogant and then had to get humbled quite a bit. And then with this, he's trying to go bring peace to the 9 realms. And it's all right. And, his dad wants him to take up the throne at some point here. And he is, at this point, Thor is hesitant. In the first movie, he was eager to take the throne. In this one, he's not quite sure. He wants a little more time to deal with stuff. He wants to protect Asgard, but he doesn't want to sit on the throne. He thinks that sitting on the throne is going to, hinder his abilities and what he can do and help the universe and everything. So that makes sense to me. That's all good. And like I said before, the main comedy comes from Loki. Like, he has some serious moments, and that's what makes his like dramatic moments a little bit more meaningful, is because he is a comedic character. And like when his mom dies in it, he is upset. He tries to put on a little bit of a show for Thor. Thor sees right through it, and it's just like, yeah, he's kind of pissed that his mom got killed by this dark elf dude. But then they get, go and try to, do a little, go around the back of Odin, because Odin is, kind of just feel proud, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and I don't care what else they're trying to do. We're gonna wait for them to come here. A lot of Asgardian lives are probably gonna get killed, but we're defending our city. We have a fortress, whatever. He thinks that's the best plan. Nobody can argue with me. And Thor's just like, nope, we gotta try some other way to do this. And I don't know, that was all right. That was okay. The way they had their plans go with that, I think, and they all didn't really trust Loki, which makes sense. If they were all to just be like, yeah, let's just totally trust Loki, we would have been, as the audience, like, fucking hey, really? After Avengers, really? Yeah, so they did okay there. The ether that gets caught into Jane, like it gets into her body or whatever, that was a little weird how that happens, but they mentioned little bits of information that at the time was handy going forward, because it reveals some information like that leads into the Infinity War and stuff, to Thanos and all that with the stones. It sets a little bit more information about the stones, how the ether is normally the shape of a stone like the others, or something. Some type of line like that is in there. And in Thor Love and Thunder, she has cancer. Jane has cancer, and it's like, a lot of people had suggested that it would have made more sense if the cancer was caused by the ether having been in her body and maybe fucked with her in some way. But they don't really have that connection in Thor Love and Thunder. In fact, they barely reference things in the past, unless it's just to make fun of it in some way or have some continuing joke that isn't funny anymore when they do it at all. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Thor at the time was nice, and he was trying to figure himself out there, and it made sense at that point, being the second movie in his own trilogy and his fourth appearance in the Avengers, like, in the whole MCU at that point. So yeah, Thor 2 was not great. It wasn't as good as Thor 1, of course. Thor 1 is quite a bit above it, but Thor 2 was okay. I would say it is significantly better than Thor Love and Thunder. Thor 2 is way better than Thor Love and Thunder. Holy fucking shit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you guys agree with me on that. If Thor 2 is better than Thor Love and Thunder, because I think it is miles better than Love and Thunder. I'd rather watch Thor 2 10 times over watching Thor Love and Thunder another time. Fuck that. And I'll see you guys later.